What is going on, guys? This is the Traxxas X-MAXX. Let's crack it open. Well, it's freaking big. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this thing. It's ridiculous. It really is a gnarly, gnarly monster truck. Freaking crazy. I imagined it being, you know, monster-like, but not like this. Kind of at a loss for words right now. So I've got some other RC cars here in my arsenal. I want to show you guys how they look compared to the X-MAXX cars that you would think are pretty big. But before I do that, there's a few things that I want to point out on this truck that I thought were interesting. Now, if you're watching this video and you're interested in this truck, you've probably watched other X-MAXX videos on YouTube. There's a bunch of them. One dude catches his truck on fire, and there's plenty of unboxings. The things that I think are really interesting about this truck is that the tires are a really soft, knobbied rubber compound. And more than that, the inserts inside are just super hard. Like, there is not much give on these tires, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if they're kind of pelted or belted or reinforced tires almost to try to help alleviate ballooning with 6S power. Another thing I thought was cool is that in the manual it says that the differentials, there's, I believe Traxxas says they're steel differentials in the front and rear. There's nothing in the center except there's a slipper. But the rear differential has 30,000 weight fluid and the front has 10,000 weight. And even cooler than that is that you can access the front and rear differentials. If you look at the manual with about 6 or 8 screws, they look like they're really easy to get to. Because I read the article on Big Squid RC, they had a review on this truck, and the dude stripped out one of the rear differentials. You know, with however many hours of use they had on it, couldn't be too many. But it's nice to know that you can get to those differentials pretty easily. Another thing that's really just like a no-brainer, like, yeah, why wasn't this thought of before, is this really cool latch system they've got with their body. Essentially, you turn a lever 90 degrees, and then this, the whole latch kind of lifts up. You lift the back, and the front slides out from underneath the front shock tower. It's kind of cool how this piece right here slides underneath the shock tower. The body feels really rigid as well. The sides are kind of flimsy. It's a Lexan body, but you get the reinforcement here with these plastic tubes that then protrude out through the back, and it really helps stiffen up the body. It's gonna add a lot of protection up top, and I like that. It's gonna just make it a little bit more durable. Of course, inside you're gonna get all waterproof electronics, and you get a 6L capable ESC and motor, and there's this massive, massive aluminum heatsink on the motor there, all finned out, covering the entire surface, the visible surface of this motor. It just wraps the motor completely around. And look at these shocks. They're just huge. And the shock shafts on this thing, I imagine they're probably 5, 6, 7 millimeter thick. It's just ridiculous how beefed up these shocks are. I don't think the camera right now is doing it justice, but they're really beefy. Another really interesting thing about this truck is that there's no virtually no adjustability. You can adjust your shocks on the shock tower. You cannot adjust your shocks on the A-arms. There's really no adjustments for the upper arm where you'd adjust the camber. The only thing that I saw in the manual that you can adjust is the roll center. There's little spacers that you can add. I'm not sure if it's on the bottom. I think it's on the bottom of the hubs, the front and rear hubs, where you can put a spacer on the bottom or you put the spacer on the top to change your roll center. Now the way the truck is set up now from the factory, according to Traxxas, is to have less roll, so the truck is not going to be traction rolling quite as much. One last thing about a really cool feature on this truck are these battery doors. No body clips needed on this thing. It's just so sick how they've done this. Essentially, this battery door, you just push it out, it clicks and locks, or unlocks I should say, and essentially it just lifts up. It's got some foam padding on the bottom. When you got your battery in there, you push it back down and you pull it towards the inside. There's pull tabs on the outside, and you lock in each end of the battery. Of course, there's some battery foams inside. You can change all that and make it a proper fit for your sized battery. So going on with size comparisons with the X-MAXX, let's check out some other RC vehicles that I've got here. We'll start with the largest to get an idea of how it stacks up with the X-MAXX. This is a Kyosho Scorpion. It's a 1/7 scale, 2-wheel drive, off-road buggy, and I thought it was pretty damn big until now having the X-MAXX in here. Now this buggy isn't nearly as wide, but lengthwise it's pretty close. It probably lacks 5 or 6 inches in axle to axle length, but the X-MAXX still looks pretty damn big compared to this. This is my HPI Savage X 4.6 Nitro Monster Truck. I believe it's considered an 8th scale vehicle, and it's just dinky. It's tiny. It's a toy truck compared to the X-MAXX. You can see width-wise and height-wise, they're in a different field entirely, and when it comes to lengthwise, they don't even compare. The Savage looks like a toy truck relative to the X-MAXX. This is my brand new Yokomo YZ-4. If you guys have been following along, I've been making a lot of videos about it. It's got my custom Jammin' RC paint job, and it's a 10 scale 4-wheel drive buggy. Compared to the X-MAXX, it looks like a micro ECX kickflip. I'm just gonna drive it underneath the X-MAXX. Literally, there's enough room to go all the way through, except for the wing hitting. And from the top, yeah, what can I say? Alright guys, thanks for watching this video on the Traxxas X-MAXX, kind of an unboxing first look. If you have any questions or comments for me, leave it down below and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know how you like this video. If you want to see more videos on this truck in the future, like I said, hit that subscribe button for future RC videos. And until next time, peace.